I want to say this, and so I apologize. I want to apologize in advance because it's probably just me. It's probably not Christian, but I was actually driving to a funeral Saturday, and
Oh,
me and
condolences, man.
oh no no
My
no, it's
Yeah.
all good.
condolences,
That's
Evan.
that's 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 not for that, not for that. Appreciate it, but that's not the thing. Um, and so me and Christian get going back and forth in text about the Lakers and the Knicks. And I just find it funny to be like I'm driving to a funeral, and I'm trying to sneak this Christian as hard as I can, and I feel like he sneaked this to me back as hard as he can. And I just had this thought. I was like, I wonder if when Christian reads my text, and the first thing he says before he responds is "fuck you, Evan," and then he, and then he responds
Probably.
back.
Knowing Christian, 100%.
Because
100%.
sometimes his text be so good that the first thing I say is "fuck you, Christian,"
100%.
and then I gotta
Listen.
figure it out.
I've known Christian since 2020, 2019. That's definitely what he says. Here's my hands.
And I'm literally
100%, man.
I
driving.
can
I was
neither
like, man,
confirm nor deny these allegations.
That's exactly what he's saying.
I think the definition of greatness is to inspire the people next to you. It's not something that lives and dies with one person. It's how can you inspire a person to then in turn inspire another person that then inspires another person. And that's how you create something that I think lasts forever. And I think that's our challenge as people, is to figure out how our story can impact others and motivate them in a way to create their own greatness.
Welcome to the Welcome to the 3 on 3 podcast. I'm your guy Hans Ludor here with my main guy Ev.
yes, indeed.
Yes, sir. How you doing today?
Wonderful. Good to see you.
Awesome, awesome. As always, got my other main man here, Lou. What's going on with you, Lou?
Peace, love, and harmony, dude. You already.
Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right.
sir. There you go. As always, we do have the Pod Mamba in the backgrounds, coaching us, making sure we're on point to give you guys the best podcast in the world. So it's that time of year, guys. We're getting down to the end of the road. I would sing the Boys to Men song, but I'm not going to do that to you guys.
Although we've
I mean, we
come,
could get it going. I don't want to get sued
How,
either.
how Ev said, you know what? I'm jumping in
I got
immediately.
you.
Ev said, I'll do it. I'll
I
do
got
it.
you.
Right. I still have some beef with them. They are torn without the base. It was a whole big thing. But anyway. So we have the last about 15 games of the season left. A lot of teams are jockeying for position, which means we are seeing a lot more competitive basketball. We're seeing the product at its highest, at its peak. And a lot of people are tuning in, although we know March Madness is upon us. And this is the time where we lose some fans as well, too. But for those who are hardcore NBA watchers, you're tuning in because the jockeying for positions, as we have so many different teams who are 1-2 games away from either securing a playoff seed or being in the play-in or not even being in consideration. So this past couple days, we saw a couple of games that really went down to the wire that ended in spectacular sense. We had the Miami Heat and the Detroit Pistons. That game ended with a buzzer beater by Bam Adebayo, buzzer beater 3. Like I said, if it was in the post, he would have missed it. So that one was great. I didn't watch it personally. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But the one that's really been on everybody's radar that you've been seeing highlights up and down your social media was the Denver Nuggets versus the Dallas Mavericks. You have Luka, the league leading scorer right now. He holds the scoring title right now. And you have Nurkic, who is a former 2-3 time MVP. They're going head to head. They're BFS as well. So that narrative was going around as well, too. But when they get on the court, it's all business. It was a great game. It was back and forth. I'm not going to lie. I had a 6-hour drive. So I was tuning into the game while driving as well, listening in. And it was just great basketball. And at the end, Kyrie hits a left-handed floater. The wizardry, Mr. Irving. Shout out to Jersey. The wizardry.
Jersey, stand up.
Yes, sir. The wizardry. So it was a great culmination. It was just great. It was great to see. We were going up about it in the chat for a while. And I'm here to tell you that nothing gets me more excited than talking about games that come down to the wire. So let's get into it. With this game, with Dallas beating Denver, Denver had been on a run as well too. Is there anything besides Kyrie just being just magical, Ev? Is there anything to learn? Did we glean anything from the results of this game?
So I want to say a couple things first. First off, not to pick on you, Hans, because you're my boy.
It's okay. I already know where you're going because we know our Portland Blazer fan brother. And he keep.
Listen,
I'm gonna let you
the
go. I'm gonna
trauma-
let you go, Ev. I
the
know it's
trauma you've
okay.
experienced in life.
We
to-
sympathize with you.
all these years later to call Jokic Nurkic by
Nurkic?
mistake right there.
Yeah,
It's okay.
I know.
You know, we're here.
I thought we were
for
gonna
you,
fumble
man.
past it.
We couldn't.
You know what it is?
If you would have called him anybody else, we would have let it
Yeah.
go.
We would have.
We definitely would've let it go.
Said, okay.
But you know
If
what?
I said
We
Drummond or Lively or
a
We'd let
myriad
you
of
cook.
names.
We'd
Yeah,
let you
yeah,
cook.
But we had to. We weren't gonna stop you from the most beautiful introduction that you so eloquently always give us. But yeah,
That's
we,
fine.
we were definitely.
Yes, I'm having haunting. We can cook it. I'm having haunting memories of Nurkic. Yes, I am.
I
But
got
I
Evan
you.
saw
also
my face. I saw his.
I also understand though. I understand why Nurkic is balling out. It's easy.
I
when
just
you
want to
not
say,
expect it.
as your friends and support group, we're here for you. All right,
Yes,
Always.
That's point
When
one.
you're the fourth option, you can do whatever you want, man. That's fine. That's fine.
Why are you getting mad?
Everybody's not
Dominating
meant to
is
be great.
destroying the league right now. Now that he has a new mattress.
Yeah,
Now that he
That
doesn't have the air
Tempur-Pedic.
mattress, he's
That
dominating.
Tempur-Pedic.
Let me tell you
he's
something.
giving me
That-
33 points and 15 rebounds in the last three
Those are
games.
Wilt numbers
man.
right there. It all took was
That's
one
Shaq-like
Tempur-Pedic
numbers.
mattress.
That Tempur-Pedic can change your life, man. Okay, there's definitely a
Pulled up
difference
to
in
Mattress
sleeping better.
Firm.
Or he's trying to up his stock and get out of there.
New
That's what he's trying to
mattress, no more icy roads. This dude's living.
So,
Or
man,
he has
think-
a lot of excuses. Now that you bring that up, between the icy roads and the air mattress. I'm looking forward to hearing what he comes up with next. But that's not what we're talking. I'm sorry. I
looking forward to
derailed
trading
this.
him for Sengun or somebody, man. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, come on.
Fix your face, Lou. Come on, man.
Yes.
We'll do it.
I'd be happy for you. I'd be happy for you.
Listen, man.
I'd be happy for you.
Aiden for Sengun. Who says no? Go ahead. Who says no?
All
We're in
right.
support.
I drove us off the rails. I'm sorry. Back to Kyrie. Irving.
Aiden for AD.
First
Who
off-
says no? Okay, my
That's
bad.
my
Go
head,
ahead.
man. You know, that's we might have to spend a moment on that one though.
I'm just saying though. Listen, AD got poked in the eye, couldn't see left. All I'm saying is
That was the third
just
time he
saying.
got injured by the Golden State Warriors, by the way, this season.
I mean,
Just saying, man.
he probably only playing one more time.
You know what?
We won't get into that.
We'll get into that in the latter half. My bad, y'all. We're gonna start
You're
this
good.
show.
You're good.
We got the Dallas Mavericks.
2 more times.
The Denver Nuggets. Listen, man. Do you believe in the Mavericks? Do they have a chance? There's somebody's dark horse. Did you pick him as your dark horse?
No, I
he
did
picked
not.
the OKC Thunder, and then I
OKC?
spent the
Yeah.
next 5 minutes
Did anybody have him as a dark horse
fumbling.
this
I
year?
did. Coming out the
did, right?
trade deadline, I
Okay.
said that they were the most dangerous team in the West coming out the trade deadline with the trades they made for PJ Washington and Daniel
Very
Gafford.
big. Very big.
They proceeded to stumble versus climb off of that trade. I thought they would play better. 6-4 in their last 10. Offense has been solid, but their defense has fallen off the cliff. 29th in defense since that trade. But Kyrie Irving, man, coming up with the show for this week, and we're talking about different guard related topics, and Kyrie comes out on Sunday and just the audacity to throw up a left-handed baby hook basically from 20 feet,
Mm,
and much heck even in the first quarter to do that,
beautiful.
much less a game winner in the fourth quarter, which speaks to his skill set
Don't forget to add the very important piece. Throw it up over who?
over Jokic, over a 6'11", 7-footer, for the
Two-time
win.
MVP.
Now, a right-hander doing that, it's kind of disoriented because it's probably like that's the last thing you're thinking he would do. So the skill set in it, and to even think to do so, it speaks to Kyrie. It speaks to, from a skill set standpoint, why he has the respect from fellow players in the league. He has the respect from his peers of being such an excellent baller, because they know that skill set is there. As far as a guard goes, I mean, he has an unstoppable skill set. The challenge with Kyrie has just always been putting it together. I heard a stat earlier that said that he's played 18 straight games, and this is the longest continuous stretch of basketball he's played in his career, 18 straight games. So it kind of speaks to it kind of speaks to the gift and the curse of the Kyrie saga. But as far as the Mavericks go, I mean, when you have Luka and you have Kyrie, you are as dangerous as any other team, in my opinion. Right now, they're in seventh, battling back and forth with the Kings, Mavs, and Suns, all right there, with the same percentage-wise record. Kings have a couple less games played than the Mavs and Suns, but two of those three are going to be in the play-in. I would in no way circumstance want to see Dallas if I was in the play and had to play them one game for my playoff life. So
Hmm.
yeah, Dallas, wherever they end up, I mean they're a dangerous team. They're just gonna have to fix their defense though.
Yeah, if it's fixable, they're not really a
Yeah. And I was about to say,
defensive force. Go ahead, Luke. My
that's,
bad.
I'm about to say that's the biggest thing is their defense is their biggest Achilles heel. And unfortunately, there's not much they can do about it. Luke is not known for being the greatest defensive player. And I mean, he leads the league in or second. No, he's second leading in the league for turnovers. So from Jason Kidd has tried to push Luka to. I remember maybe it was about 2 seasons ago where Jason Kidd gave Luka a stat, something that he was, I don't know, 300 and whatever ranked in terms of player and defense. And then by the end of the season, he told him he was ranked at, 100 and something, and all for it to just be false, right? It was just all made up numbers just to give Luka some incentive to be better. Just because Jason Kidd just knew how to tap into his psyche and to push him to be a better defensive player. But I say that to say,
Some good
Dallas,
coaching.
great coaching, especially a point guard trying to get another potential point guard or point forward for whatever we want to call Luka.
We'll
What's a point
classify him
guard?
later.
Right? I know, right? But just understanding, hey, what do we need for you to do to be able to help the team win? So I agree 1000% with Evan. This is a scary team. If you're in the play-in, if you're a team in the play-in or a French playing team, you don't want to see the Dallas Mavericks, especially them at home. We've seen that them at home, they're being able to play a little bit more special. If this was in Denver, do I think that this would have necessarily happened? No, not necessarily, because I think Denver right now they're in cruise control. They're back and forth for first with OKC. Now they're second, but they're only a half game behind. Denver is already kind of shoring up what they need to do to be able to lock in for where they need to be for the playoffs. I mean, we see them go from the sixth, and they weren't worried at all because they knew come this time of the season, when it really mattered, when they really needed to gear up and be the team that we all know that they are. When, for Joker to look at his guys and say, hey, guys, okay, it's time to stop playing with our food. Let's go and make sure we show them why we're the reigning champs. And, Denver's doing exactly what we expected them to do.
100%. And what I also gleaned from that game was the Mavericks showed us a formula that could lead towards winning basketball against the Denver Nuggets, because they've looked so dominant and formidable in this last 10 games. They've been really going for it. You can tell they want to be number one. They want to have home court throughout the whole playoffs and into the finals. But what I gleaned from that is, even with Dallas's lack of defense, what they showed was, if you can contain somewhat, because you can't stop Joker, you can't stop Murray, right? If you can kind of contain them, but win the battle on the boards, you'll always have a chance, especially against their second unit. Their second unit is where you really have to take advantage of the battle on the boards and turn those into additional points, and you'll always be in the game and you'll have a chance to really knock down the giant. I'm interested to see if other teams get that, especially teams that play better defense than the Dallas Mavericks do. But you could see from that game, like, the Dallas Mavericks clearly had a plan on the boards. I've seen quite a few Dallas Maverick games, and I've never seen them crash like that. Like, the ferocity they were going at the boards, they were just out hustling and out working the Denver Nuggets on the boards, to the point where you saw the coach was just yelling, like, get a board, get a rebound. Like, and as we know, guys, with rebounding as part of defense, it's effort, right? Of course, you have to position yourself, you have to box out, but a lot of it is effort. So I think that exposed a little bit, not that it's an Achilles heel by any, it's not an Achilles heel by any stretch of the word or the phrase, but yet and still, it's a proven formula. Even in just plain basketball logistics, you control the boards, i.e., you have more possessions, more opportunities to score, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So
that coupled with Denver not necessarily having a great shooting night, that also plays a major role. When, Jamal Murray, where he scored 23 points as their leading scorer, but still was 7 or 8 for 18 from the field, and Joker himself was scored 16, and he was about the same, 8 for 18 from the field. So
he get a triple double too, though, right?
I mean, Joker gets a triple double in his sleep.
Right.
No, but he was close to a trip dub. He was three assists shot from a trip dub.
Okay.
Yeah, so having him limited, having a bad shooting night, and also being able to control the boards with them having a bad shooting night, yeah, Hans, you're right. That definitely put yourself in a position to be able to kind of eliminate those pieces that would help them overcome their bad shooting night. But for them to have a bad shooting night and not have control of the boards, and for them to just lose by a buzzer beater away,
yeah,
I don't want to play.
I mean,
I don't want to play Denver.
You're right. They're still in the game, no matter what you do.
Scary.
They're still going to be in the game,
Scary.
and they're required for you to be disciplined. Which, to me, I give hats off to Luka and Luka for distributing the ball correctly, and for the other players to be ready to knock down shots, to gang rebound like they were doing. It was just a great game. The intensity was right there. It was just on point. It was a great game to watch. I loved how their synergy is coming together, Kyrie and Luka. So, like F said, this is the longest streak Kyrie has played. He's had neck injuries. Luka's actually was questionable for the game with a hammy, and we all know how hammies can be aggravated by just looking in the wrong direction. So, for them to really start to kind of get the ball rolling is looking great. It's great for the Dallas Mavericks. We'll see what it turns into as far as playoffs is concerned, but they're trending in the right direction. The Mavericks are, and Denver, even despite this loss, they're still dominating and trending in the right direction as well. So, on to another intense game that we had this past weekend, intense until the final minute and 35, which took 16 minutes to occur. And we're talking about
22.
the
22 minutes.
22 minutes. I apologize. I walked away for like 4 or 5 minutes because it was just unbearable. We're talking about the Lakers and Golden State Warriors. It is crazy. The last time they played, night and day, night and day. And I remember it vividly because last time they played was my anniversary weekend. I was up in North Carolina watching it. My wife, we were at this establishment, and it was just going back and forth. They went into OT, and then this game was just a nightmare. It was just a nightmare. The shot clock malfunction was stuck at 14, and they would inbound it constantly. It would not move. And we were sitting here being tortured. That's what it was, tortured as viewers. And whatever Laker fans, nobody cares if they're tortured. But Golden State fans and viewers were tortured having to watch that. I want to throw it to you, Lou. What do you make of a major market team, arguably one of the most legendary franchises in the NBA, a marquee team? What do you make of such an organization not having a backup shot clock?
You know,
What does that mean?
it makes you wonder what's your focus, you know, where do you put your funds, you know, what do you view as essential?
The Los
You know?
Angeles Clippers would never.
Hey,
You know, Evan, I would have to agree with you. I believe that the Los Angeles Clippers would be judicious enough with their funds and respectful enough of themselves as an organization and their fans to be able to make sure such malfunctions wouldn't occur. Now, but jokes aside, I mean, it was wild. I think what they
no,
had
this
to
was a
go,
serious conversation, but okay.
yeah,
Go ahead.
they had to go manual, but stopwatches. People, you have the table yelling out 10 seconds, like
10 seconds.
yeah, like you know, it's kind of crazy because you know what we haven't seen a debacle like this since they had to give us breakaway rims. So I don't know. You know, some could say it's a conspiracy. You know, if you're a fan of a particular team, but it was wild to see. Yeah, no, it was one of those things that I actually didn't expect it would actually really happen. You're kind of seeing it happen in real time. You're like, no, is this for real? And I thought it would, you know, they would get it together. Still, what they still haven't said what was the reason, right? You know, the first thing actually I noticed before they even got to the like, okay, like the shot clock really isn't working. I was like, why didn't LeBron get a technical for spiking the ball like that? See,
Mm.
technically, technically should have had a technical, but they had bigger fish to fry in terms of the shot clock and being able to finish out the game. And you know, it was unfortunate because you go for 46 minutes, 46 and a half to 47 minutes of a great basketball game, and then the momentum gets completely halted, killed. I mean, it's not to say that the Lakers would have necessarily came back and won that game, but the game that everybody was excited to see, those last final 2 minutes, how they were shaping up to be, who knows how it could have finished. And it was unfortunate that, you know, something as technical as a shot clock and not even having a backup one is kind of crazy. Or something in place to be able to make sure something like this doesn't happen. And so this is for sure going to be something that's going to be a one of one because I'm sure ever since that happened, every team has made sure that their equipment managers are on top of it. That if they're making sure there's no malfunctions with
Well,
any shot clocks and there's
if I'm not
backups on
mistaken, I
backups.
was watching a game and I can't remember if it was earlier this year or late last year where same thing happened, but they brought up a spare shot clock. They had it on the floor
Mhm.
and they kept
Yes,
going.
yes, yes, yes,
They kept going.
yes, yes.
But Ev, I want to ask you a serious question. So while this delay was going on, as a family man, a husband, a father of two with a full-time job, how many errands were you able to complete during this delay? How many loads of laundry were you able to put in? Did you put one of your
How
kids
many
down for a
to
nap?
sleep?
Were you able to cook dinner or help, start dinner? I'd love to know, like, how many errands did you do or get accomplished during this delay?
So I'll be honest, I definitely appreciate the consideration of the Los Angeles Lakers franchise of understanding that it was late and there were things that did need to get done. You never want to go to sleep with your clothes still drying. That's a safety hazard. So
Hmm.
they gave time for the clothes to finish drying. Um, if you don't fold your clothes fresh out of the dryer, they have a tendency to snowball. They'll get wrinkled. Your laundry will pile up. So, giving me time to dry clothes, definitely appreciative. When you have a young one, infant, you got to get that change, when they wake up at night so they're not wet the whole night. So a chance to change an
Awesome.
infant. So I appreciate the Lakers for their generosity and their consideration for my household. Um, Outside of that, though, I will point out I did appreciate the intensity that this game began with.
Mm.
Uh, you know, LeBron, he has those games when he not only has to be focused and serious, he has to show you that he's being focused and serious. And you can see from the very beginning of this game that he was making it known both to the world and to his team that all right, this is one that we're gonna lock in and we're really gonna make a point here. I mean, the two teams jostling for that valuable ninth place position in the West right now. Home court in the 9-10 game of the playoffs, very important. And so I
Playoffs?
saw LeBron and playing. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Thank you for
I was just
correcting me.
checking. No,
No,
I
no,
was just
no,
checking.
no. You're right.
I was just
You're right.
checking.
Still getting used to having something that matters outside of the top 18. So I appreciate you correcting me there. But no, seriously, LeBron's intensity at the beginning, you could tell the Lakers were trying to make that point. It was unfortunate that Anthony Davis got hurt early on because I really think that they wanted to drive home the point of we're taking this game. Before Anthony Davis got hurt, the Warriors had I think 4 points in the paint. They ended up with 54 points in the paint. So his injury was a tremendous impact on this game. And at this point in the season, when they're rolling down 15, 16 games left, uh, they can't afford to drop games like this. Now they have one more game against them on the 9th, a couple weeks here, April 9th, to maybe make up, get that game back. But definitely saw the intensity in that game. Steph definitely made sure that he was back for this game because he knew how serious it was. So it'll be fascinating to see how this season ends up for the both of them, and what impact this game shot clock or not, what impact this game has on the standings here at the end.
Yeah, it was shaping up to
100%.
be a dope preview of what this playing matchup would look like. So I'm
It's gonna be
sure
must see
every
TV
like,
like it was a couple years
yeah,
ago.
definitely. So I mean, your point of these two Titans, you know, really making a point to say, hey guys, we want to be able to get right and be able to get ready for when it really matters. So yeah, Hans, you're gonna appreciate this. Like Wedderburn used to tell us, practice doesn't make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. So they're
There you
gonna
go.
play these games as if it is the play-in. So it's gonna be great to see that level of intensity going back and forth.
Go to hell.
Listen, one of these teams are going to have one playing game, and one of these teams are going to have two playing
Boom.
games. So I mean,
You could go to hell too.
it's important. It's important.
Are
It's
y'all done?
important.
Are y'all done? Or y'all finished? Because I've been letting you guys cook whatever bullshit you guys have been cooking the last 8 minutes. First and
There's
foremost,
been
first
some
and
exquisite
foremost,
meals have been being cooked right
first
now. I'm
and
just saying.
foremost, how dead
Korean
wrong you
barbecue
guys
style.
were about
Korean
this.
barbecue style.
The this fucking guy. The shot clock is bought by the NBA and is provided by the NBA. It's not
Oh,
provided by the
conspiracy.
Lakers, or no, it's not conspiracy. It's facts. These are facts. Look it
No,
up.
Michael, you're gonna say the
Look it up.
conspiracy.
The
Yes,
shot
like
clock
they're
is
trying to.
provided. The
The
shot clock is
NBA is trying
provided
to
by the
sabotage
NBA.
the Lakers yet again. That's
Shot-
that's
Mm.
The shot clock is provided by the NBA.
that's what I'm
If
saying. The NBA is trying to sabotage the Lakers again. Oh my God.
Mm.
I
Right?
didn't say that. Maybe they
Listen,
should
listen,
invest
listen.
money on an
Luke, let
actual
him
shot
go.
clock that works. I don't know. It's not the Lakers' fault. They're just working the shot clock, but they don't provide it. So it's the NBA's fault for not providing that what'd you say, Hans? Like a shot clock that you could put on the floor or whatever? Like a
So how
separate
come the
one?
other teams have it?
I don't know because the NBA didn't provide it this game, Hans. I'm silver why they didn't give us that.
Or
Or go ahead.
or
Uh-huh.
or
Or what? Go ahead.
or the Lakers
Uh-huh.
were not fiscally responsible enough
Oh, okay.
to then ask and pay for an additional shot
We have to
clock
pay for what the
in
NBA provides?
case it happens. Because I don't know the ins and outs, so I'm just here making assumptions. I agree with you in 100% because I know you probably, while we were talking, did your Google research and saw that the NBA does provide it with a shot clock. Just like any other franchise in the business, right? They provide you with the initial equipment, right? Any additional equipment would then have to come out of your P&L or your budget for the layman, and you have to put forth the money. So what makes me a little bewildered is how come a regular team, because that's what every other team is compared to the Lakers, wouldn't be judicious enough to get an additional shot clock because technology does malfunction, but the Lakers don't. But I understand, Christian, they're a mom and pop shop, and I get it because they needed those funds to keep the
If we
business
had the
going
money
and
like Joe
pay those
Lacob and the
people.
Warriors have, you best believe we have our own shot clock, but we don't.
That's what it's a mom and pop shop.
It's a
You're
mom and pop.
so
You're right.
right.
You're right.
You're so
Literally.
right.
Small market team.
I forgot.
Up and coming.
But here's the real
Up and
reason
coming team.
the shot clock malfunctioned. Here's the real reason. I found out, guys. It's breaking news. You haven't heard it. Wheezy said, "Until you do right by me, you won't win another game." I'm just saying. When you Wheezy
He,
baby,
he finally got to Louisiana roots and put a voodoo on us.
hit him with the base god curse.
listen, the Wheezy F baby. Listen, man, I mess with the wrong one. That's all I'm saying. Y'all mess with the wrong one. Straight flames from now on. So that's what really happened, though. But all jokes aside, this game was great until technology messed everything up. My question and my concern is this. While I was watching this game and it unfold, I was thinking about how not last year, but the season before when they did meet up in the in-season tournament and the Lakers knocked them out. Is this the end of LeBron and Steph having dominant teams in the NBA? Are we done seeing that? Because the way it's looking with Golden State's cap issues and their personnel issues, right? The Lakers, there's a host of issues going on. They couldn't get healthy. Coaching, according to Christian, is a huge issue, which to his defense, definitely there's some coaching issues there as well, too. So is the NBA ever going to see a dominant Steph or LeBron team? Or is that done? Is that era past us? Is that no more?
So you asked the question, is the NBA going to see it?
Not the
I
big
think
three. You
it's
said the big three? Oh, my bad.
no,
Go
no,
ahead.
no. Well, so that's kind of where I'm going. I don't know if the Warriors are going to see it. I don't know if the Lakers are going to see it. Kind of for the reasons that you laid out. The teams as constructed don't have. I don't see dominant futures around either of them. I doubt the ability for the Warriors to rebuild a dominant team around Steph Curry. I doubt the Lakers' ability to build a dominant team around LeBron James.
So you're doubting the office rather than the player's ability.
Nah, money and time.
Don't
Yeah,
tie us
yeah.
into those losers up north. We won a
Uh,
championship this season already.
you did, you did.
Banners up.
If that's
One
not
more than
dominance, I don't know what is.
one more than the Celtics. You're right. You're right. But so my concern is there now. LeBron, you know, I think Steph is more committed to the Warriors than LeBron is to the Lakers. And so I could see, I don't think it's more than 50% likely, but I could see LeBron eyeing and turning to a right situation where he comes in and is a piece that allows for a dominant run. When you see LeBron still able to put up 40 in a game, at this point in the season or whatnot, like he's broken the calculus on what's possible with him. Let's just be honest. Um, I can still see him being maybe not the 1A guy, but being the 1B on the team that can still make a consistent run. And honestly, if they traded Anthony Davis, not from talent, from a fit standpoint, if they traded Anthony Davis and for a player that was of somewhat similar skill set, somewhat similar talent, but not the same skill set, i.e., like more of a wing or a guard versus a big man, I could see it happening with the Lakers actually.
Okay.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts on it, Lou? Have we seen the end? Is this the end of the Steph and LeBron era?
Push back on that, Lou, because that nonsense that Evan just spewed. As a married
Well,
man, Evan, you really think Savannah will allow LeBron to uproot his family to
I
go to a
just
better
gave you
situation?
I
he's done it
just
four
gave
times.
you the other absolutely. And
He's
I
done it
just
four times.
gave you the other opportunity in which the other scenario in which it wouldn't happen is if they traded Anthony Davis. I don't think LeBron
Unless it's for
with a
Embiid, I
dominant
don't
big
think
man
it's
can
for
do it.
anyone.
I don't think LeBron and a dominant big man can do it. That's not LeBron's style. That's not
He's never
his
won with that.
MO. Well, he's won. He won a championship with AD, so I can't say he's
That's
never
not a real
won.
championship.
But but his
Don't do that, Lou.
his best has
We
been
don't got time. We don't got time to be talking about this, man.
well. Look at what they've been since then. They haven't had a top 20 offense since 2020. So LeBron, honestly, let's go all the way with this.
Have they needed it though? They've been a top 10 defense since LeBron's been on the team.
Are they a top 10
But you have
defense
to
this
but
year?
you have to put the ball in the basket.
Hold on. They they're getting the best season from LeBron and AD since 2020. Are they a top 10 defense this year or a top 10
No,
offense this year?
they're a top 10 in 3-point percentage.
What's their 3-point allowed percentage? What rank are they there?
Well, I don't know. I have to ask Darvin Ham that.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But my point is we've seen the best LeBron, the best AD, well, maybe not the best, but high level this season. It's not gonna get better with those two. Um, LeBron with another player of high level, all-star level skill set, but at a different position, I think LeBron could still give you that. But I don't think he's going to be dominant with Anthony Davis. So if it's not happening in LA with Anthony Davis leaving, like my boy Weezy said, it may be with LeBron leaving. I don't think either one's likely, but to answer Hans' question, that's my thought on it. I'm sorry, Lou, I've took up a lot of
No,
time.
it's fine because I'm echoing a lot of those thoughts. This season is LeBron's lowest plus percentage in a plus minus all in his all his seasons plus 97, right? Anything lower than that has been in the negatives. Right now, yes, we've seen LeBron be able to pull off these still flashes of his youth, whether he's drinking from he's found a fountain or it's called Balco, who knows? But the point is like I think we're far past the days where we're going to see the true dominance of a Steph LeBron. Now,
I just want to say you held off for a week, Lou. I'm very proud of you. Continue.
when is it? where we are with. I do. Ev, you made a great point that I wanted to kind of jump on was Steph's loyalty to the Warriors and also his style of play lends the Warriors that opportunity to maybe be able to try to find one more push to build around him as opposed to LeBron. LeBron, and there's nothing. It just is what it is. If he sees the right opportunity, he'll make a move, and there's no team that will say no. So, in terms of as the Lakers dominance with LeBron as a Laker, do I think those days we going to see anything better than what we're seeing now? No. But is this necessarily the end for LeBron and opportunity for him to have some dominance in the league? No. I think that there may be another situation that may, if the right team, who knows? If LA calls up Phoenix and says, "Yo, we'll trade you KD for LeBron," what do you think they say?
Oh, Christian will be the one ushering LeBron on that plane. And
you gonna go pick him up?
Savannah's gonna love that Phoenix air, man. She's gonna love
that dry heat, huh?
Yeah, it's gonna be great for her hair. This is the first time I'm looking at it. Remind you, Christian was just talking about. You think Savannah's gonna uproot her family? Well, Phoenix is nicer.
Listen, Christian will be like, that dry heat does wonders for your skin.
So, but what I think the bell curve, I see that we're on the tail end. Is the sunset in sight for both? Absolutely. There's only couple more seasons where we see where they'll be for sure in terms of dominance, where they will be in terms of none of them are ranked as leaders in any category currently. And they once upon a time where these guys were. So we've seen a great era, but we're definitely coming to the end of it.
Yeah, and that was just kind of my thinking of it, because for years it's been Steph versus LeBron, right? It was a foregone conclusion that LeBron was going to be at the top of the standings for the East, and Steph was going to be at the West. They were going to be at the finals. And granted, there were people out there who were clamoring and saying, "Oh, I'm tired of it. I want to see something different," which we're seeing something different, which I think is good as well. But we always love a superhero and a villain, right? We always love that dichotomy. We always love two titans going at each other. And I just wonder if these two titans are done clashing. So it's something to think about. But speaking of Steph, Draymond Green had a podcast, and he had Isaiah Thomas on, the Hall of Famer, not the one who just signed a 10-day, on his podcast to have some discussions. And during that discussions, after taking multiple shots at Michael Jordan, because Isaiah Thomas still not over that, he went on to say that he doesn't believe that Steph is a real point guard. He actually said Draymond Green is the point guard of the team because of how he initiates the offense and gets everybody involved and basically is the maestro on the court, which led us, or Ev, to pose the question, what is a point guard? If Steph Curry is not a point guard in Isaiah Thomas's eyes, is Luka a point guard? Is Kyrie a point guard? Trae Young? So things for us to discuss. Ev, you posed a question. First, I want you to answer Isaiah Thomas. Is Steph Curry a point guard?
Steph Curry is a point guard. Not only is he a point guard, he's one of the best point guards of all time.
Wow.
He's a better point guard.
He said it with his chest.
Yes, sir.
He's a better point guard than Isaiah Thomas. All respect due to Zeke. Shout out to Chicago. But Steph Curry is a point guard. I understand where Isaiah is coming from the standpoint of the traditional point guard is the one that has the ball in his hand, sets up the offense, distributes the offense, makes sure all the other players are in the right position, gauges the temperature of when the offensive strategy or whatnot needs to be switched up. Kind of a coach on the floor, so to speak. And in addition to that, if we're honest, with with some exceptions, there's usually a size parameter to that as well, which kind of draws into question when we're talking about the Lucas, or why we never completely consider LeBron James a point guard, although he has, a lot of point guard capabilities and skill sets. It's really that ball handler part, the caretaker of the ball, the one that makes sure that even in the tightest defensive settings that the ball isn't given away. Steph Curry does all those, has the ability to do all those things, and he does it at times throughout the point of the game. Uh, what Steph does, where we can't discredit what he does, is that he handles the ball and then he also dictates the offense by his movement. And I think that's one of the things that why I still qualify Steph Curry as a point guard. You can't just judge his strictly off of his statistical assists. Um,
Right, right.
right. Steph Curry's movement creates assists for everybody on the team. And it's his understanding and use and the unselfishness, which unselfishness is a huge attribute of the point guard position as well. It's the unselfishness of his play style, both with and without the ball, that allow that entire ecosystem to operate in Golden State. And that is what makes Steph Curry not only a point guard, but the point guard in that system. You take Steph Curry away, Draymond Green isn't having all those assists a game.
I
Okay.
hate and love that you said that because that was going to be
Sorry,
my
but
point
yeah.
afterwards. But no, you're exactly
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I
Keep
mean,
cooking,
so
man. Keep cooking, man.
Bro,
Let
I'm
yeah.
just
him
saying,
cook.
yo,
Let him cook.
But I mean, so and honestly, and this is the last thing I say. The only reason Isaiah is even saying this, in my opinion, is because he knows that Steph Curry is either right below him, right next to him, or right above him in the point guard rankings. If we were thinking Steph Curry was the ninth or 10th point guard of all time, Isaiah wouldn't be making these comments. These comments come out of threat. These comments come out of being surpassed in many people's eyes on the list. So Isaiah is doing what he does, push back. Same reason he pushes back on Jordan. But I
Yeah,
digress.
yeah. And to add fuel to that too, when Golden State initially previewed their high power and high scoring offense, first person I heard to rebuttal was Isaiah Thomas, letting us and reminding us that his Detroit Pistons were putting up high and record setting numbers as well, and we're a high powered offense. So that to me, rather than laud this motion offense, right? Because that's what we're lauding. The Detroit Pistons weren't moving like these Golden States moving. The offense was not moving like that. Instead of lauding and commending him, you want to make sure that you remind everybody about, hey, our team was the one who actually did this, who did that, which shows some type of threat or perceived threat. But no, well put, Evan. I 100% agree. That was going to be my point. Pull up Draymond Green from the Golden State Warriors, put him in another team, and see if he moves an offense like that. He doesn't. He doesn't. So
agree.
that's
And also,
that for me seals it. Go ahead, Lou. My bad.
I love how Zeke has amnesia where he's previously applauded Steph as a point guard, and talked about not wanting to have guarded him, or you know or having to have dealt with the 3-point threat that Steph poses every time he's on the court. So also agreeing with everything that Evan said as to what makes Steph not only a point guard, but one of the best that we've been able to see in this
Gotcha.
generation.
Can't be a point guard if you don't even lead your own team in assists. That's just how it works. I don't make the rules.
You don't make the rules.
Who was running that offense in the Laker game at the end? Who was throwing those lobs? Was it Steph or was it Draymond? I'm just trying to figure that out.
Right. But here's what I'll say to that. The type of offense that they run the motion offense, Draymond is a placeholder. He's a placeholder. So it literally could be anybody else who has the capability of passing in a timely manner, hand-eye coordination, whatever skill set people want to laud him with his passing, which is whatever. It's by virtue of the offense that Draymond is getting that. I liken it to this. Everybody remembers the whole 8-second Phoenix Suns, whatever the offense, right? And how Steve Nash play and dictate of the offense enhance certain players' games, right? Joe Johnson made him the highest paid player in the NBA for the Hawks for a while, right? Amari Stoudemire, Sean Marion, right? The way he dictated and moved the offense, right? He enhanced their games because he put them in the right space. Steph Curry, by virtue of how he's moving and running those picks and how they're doing it, he's dictating the offense without the ball being held in his hand. So that's just what it is right there. That's my opinion. But Ev has said that Isaiah Thomas is clearly not in his top 5 point guards.
I didn't say not top 5.
Oh, you didn't say not top 5? Okay,
I didn't say not top 5.
Okay, my bad.
Not higher than Steph Curry.
Not higher than Steph Curry. My bad. I apologize. Top 5 point guards of all time. All right, at least to that conversation. So there's a player that I'm just throwing it in there. Top 5. We have Stephen Curry. We talked about Luka. We talked about, well, I glancingly mentioned Trey and everything like that. But Chris Paul, there's another point guard on that team who is lauded and elevated as a skill, as floor general, as a one who can really, every team he goes to, he makes players better. He gets them, to achieve, if not at their expectation, a little bit above their expectation. Chris Paul coming off the bench. Is he top 5 point guard of all time? Is he on the list?
Okay. You go first because I'm
about to say,
right
here's
now.
the thing. I know I've said this in the chat of my knee-jerk reaction. No. But I also had to just take a pause. If we look at his accolades, we'll see what he's accomplished. Because the biggest thing is, I'll say it like this, if Chris Paul had won a championship, we wouldn't be having this discussion. Looking at what he's been able to accomplish, we can't discredit how solid and how great of a point guard he's been. So, would I say he is one of the greatest of all time? He would have to be in consideration for sure. Is he in my person? Would I say he's top 5? No, I'm not saying he's top 5. But
so he's not top 5 point guard.
I'm not putting Chris Paul as the top 5 point guard of all time. But he has to be in conversation as one of the greatest of all time. He's in top 10 for sure.
How are you? Okay, so how are you in the conversation with one of the greatest of all time, but you're not top 5?
Top 10.
You can't be GOAT if you're not even top 5, Lou.
I have to rephrase. He is in the top 10. He's in the top 10, but he's not top 5.
He's not top 5. So he's
not top 5.
Okay, he's not making anybody's Mount Rushmore of point guards.
Some people may.
Or you. He's not making your Mount Rushmore of point guards.
No, and I mean, I think there's an argument. I see what you did. But I think there's an argument for 5 other point guards that are better than him.
Better than him. All right.
Yeah.
Ev, it's on you, son.
List them.
Stay around for OT and you'll find out.
Oh, I got a list for you.
Are we doing the list now?
No,
we don't.
Cook. He got a list. He got a different list.
I got a top 5 list. I wasn't gonna give it, but I'm gonna give it right now just to have some fun. All right.
So we do. So I'm just saying because if that's what it was, I have mine.
Let him go. Right. It's a different list.
Okay. Say no more.
It's not a different list. I'll do it this way. First off, okay, I'll do it this way. I don't even remember the question anymore. Is Chris Paul top 5?
Top 5 point guard.
I'll answer it like this. Everything that Lou said, I totally agree with. If Chris Paul had a ring by now, it wouldn't even be a question.
He would have if he went to the Lakers. But that's
as far as
I was waiting for that.
I'm glad the Lakers came up. Here I am. As far as point guards go, as far as what a point guard looks like and feels like, I don't know if there's much better embodiment of what a point guard looks like and feels like than prime Chris Paul. So like the what do you call it? Whether it's the Merriam-Webster or the point guard for dummies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Any book like that, any instructional point guard video, right?
The quintessential point guard, the model point guard.
Absolutely. If you were looking for if you were looking for the fancy way to do it, you would put Magic Johnson on the cover. If you were looking for the textbook way to do it, you would put Chris Paul on the cover. In my opinion,
my top 5, I'm gonna have to replace that, but we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. I'll give you. So the only one I say is 5, right? So who it comes down to for me is 2 people. And I'm going to read you. If you missed, I'm going to read it because I messed up Christian's shame list last week with one of these. And I felt so bad that that Apple wouldn't let me get this off the right way, that I'm going to get it off the right way right now. The NBA logo should have been changed from Jerry West a long time ago. He was an overrated player and is undeserving of the logo. So I say all that to say that the 5th place on my top 5 of all time list comes between Chris Paul and Jerry West. And just because I wrote those words last week, I'm going to stand on what I wrote last week or 2 weeks ago. Chris Paul is in my top 5 and Jerry West is not, as far as all-time point guards. And I have nothing else to say on this topic for right now.
Wow. That is huge. As critical as Evan Butler Sands has been of Chris Paul, to put him in his top 5?
No.
It's 2024 though.
Chris Paul was I was always on his side. It's the other one you're thinking about who Chris Paul wasn't on the top. Yeah. So he's gonna have fun listening to this one.
No, it's fine. I look, I have 5 guys.
He's a big Steph Curry fan.
Steph Curry with the pie.
Well, he's a comma guard, so I don't know.
But I with that, okay, I say this: Chris Paul, Jason Kidd, and Steve Nash all are kind of in the same area for me as far as all-time point guards.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think that Chris Paul, one, his longevity is both a gift and a curse. These last couple years have kind of tarnished his overall standing. But like I said, for who he was in his prime, man, I can't knock Chris Paul for being a prototypical point guard, the quintessential point guard, as Lou said.
Definitely. I think his inability to achieve the ultimate goal of getting a ring is something that is going to be held against him, but yet and still what he's achieved on the court is something that can't be ignored. And as Lou said, he's a definite Hall of Famer. He's definitely top 10. But I do think there's some conversation that needs to be had in regards to top 5, which we will have moving on to the OT. So guys, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. As always, we have some more content coming on the OT, so please go over there to check it out. And make sure you always have a backup shot clock, guys. Technology always fails. So make sure you have some plans, some backups. Make sure you always have some redundancies in place. Get a backup battery, a charger, something. I don't know. All right, guys. See you guys next week.
What's up, guys, and thanks for listening. I want you to do 2 things for me right now. 1, give this episode a thumbs up. And 2, be sure to subscribe to our channel. You can also follow us on all the socials at the 3on3 Podcast and send us an email at the 3on3podcast@gmail.com. We appreciate you and tune in next week.